What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm going to show you guys all my brand new desk setup. I recently moved to San Francisco and decided not to bring my previous desk with me. I know you guys loved that desk and so did I, but because it was drilled to the wall and just really part of the house at that point, I thought it'd be better to start from scratch. All the tech, products, and accessories in this new desk are linked below in the description for you guys to check out or follow along. And let's just hop straight into the video. So when I was first touring this apartment, I knew that this desk had to go right here. This was just a beautiful spot in front of 3 big windows, and I could get plenty of direct or indirect sunlight, so nothing is directly hitting my eyes, and be able to see a little bit of nature, which is priceless in a big city. I also knew ahead of time that I wanted this desk to follow a simple white, gray, and black color scheme with no patterns. It's actually the theme I've tried to keep for this entire apartment, just because it's a very modern, clean aesthetic, and it really contrasts how old this apartment actually is. Now, for the top of the desk, I went with a white IKEA lemon countertop. This is a 4.5-foot particle board. I decided to cut down on space for this because at my previous desk that was 6 feet long, I was never really using that much space. I was always in one spot within arm's reach of everything. Additionally, living in a studio apartment, space is of the essence, so cutting down to 4.5 feet was really worth it. Now for the legs, I went with black metal triangle legs on Amazon. I was thinking about going with Alex drawers, but the thing is, as a minimalist, I don't have anything to really put in those drawers. Additionally, when you have a smaller space, you want to show off as much of the floor as possible. Now, as aesthetically pleasing as these legs are, they unfortunately just were not sturdy enough, and the desk would shake and wobble with even just a slight nudge. So I decided to take them off and replace them with 3-pronged legs on Amazon, which I also have linked below in the description. These were much sturdier, and I also used about 2.5-foot long wood screws with washers to really reinforce that hold and make sure they were tight with the desk. I also went ahead and replaced my monitor mount, which was previously meant for smaller monitors, with a sturdier one. Because I work at my desk full-time as a software engineer and also as a YouTuber, I need this desk to be perfect. It cannot have any structural vulnerabilities. It cannot shake, it cannot wobble, it cannot vibrate. It needs to be one solid piece of work, because if it's not, then half of my focus is being distracted subconsciously on the desk wobbling versus actually being productive and getting things done. Anyway, once I got the desk done and all my tech set up on it, I went into the cable management. Now, truth be told, I got a little bit sloppy here. I thought it'd be a good idea to use shipping tape to hold all my wires together, thinking it's transparent, so it's very difficult to see. It's fairly strong, and I don't really move my wires around too much, so what's the harm? But there was a lot of harm, because literally the next day, everything fell apart and I had to take all the tape off and to start over. So I decided to grab these XL adhesive wire clippers on Amazon. These ones are big enough to hold even the thick HDMI and power cables I have, and the adhesive is very strong as well. I ran these along the back side of the desk, and I double stacked them against the lead leg, the back leg of the desk, the farthest one away from the door. That way, from most angles sitting and standing around the desk, all of the cables are invisible, which is the end goal here. Additionally, these clips can be easily popped in and out, so if I need to replace wires or change them in and out, there'll be no hassle with that whatsoever. And at this point, the desk was pretty much done, except for one tiny little thing that was nagging at me, and that was vibrations. The thing about these particle boards at IKEA, especially this one in particular, is that it is very light. So when you're tapping or just using your keyboard or a little bit aggressive with the mouse, vibrations will hum through it, and it'll go through my monitor and make my monitor screen shake a tiny bit. And this is something that most people wouldn't care, wouldn't even notice unless they were looking out for, but to me, it was driving me crazy. I am a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my desk, and these vibrations needed to go. So the easiest way to take care of them was just to add some weight to the desk. Now, I didn't want to add a ton of weight on top of the desk. Again, I was going with that clean, minimalistic look. So I went ahead to a local like hardware and lumber store and then picked up a couple 2x4s and drilled them into the bottom of the desk. Now when I type, when I'm being aggressive, when I'm even just shaking the desk a bit, there's no vibrations whatsoever and my monitor is staying completely still. And now for the final touch is the one with adding a couple of plants. I was just gonna add a few succulents because I've not had the best experience with plants in the past, but I thought I'd give it another shot, so I went to a local gardening store and I picked up some succulents and cactuses, as well as a money plant and the 3 plants I have right in front of me. I don't know the name of them, unfortunately. And from there, I just put those plants in some pots I got on Amazon. These pots do have drainage holes and a drainage plate at the bottom, and topped it off with some white rock, give it a really aesthetic look. And honestly, having these plants on my desk, as well as my money plant right next to me, just makes the desk pop out and seem way more lively. And that is my brand new desk setup. I didn't want to run down all the tech I have on this desk, but just know guys, I personally believe that the tools you use to interact with the computer need to be held to the highest standard. And obviously as a software engineer and YouTuber, I'm on my computer a lot, so I really need the best of the best quality tech. Some of these are a little bit more on the pricier side of things. So kicking things off, I have my Keytro extended mouse mat. It's just an XL mat that gives me plenty of space to put my keyboard and mouse on and move them around freely. I also like how it's something nice and comfy to rest your palms on and make sure that my watch is not gonna scratch the top of the desk. I actually grabbed this about 6 months ago and I picked up one for my mom as well and she loves it. On that mat, I keep my Logitech G19 TKL. Now, I'm not a huge mechanical keyboard guy. I know it's a big niche, but personally, once you go mechanical, you can't go back. There's just something so satisfying about typing on this keyboard. Here's a quick sound test for you guys. It just makes you feel so productive when you hear that clicking sound. And on top of that, it has a ton of different RGB features you can plug into there. Not a big RGB guy, but it's nice to have. It can also wirelessly connect between 2 different computers instantaneously with the click of a button. I also have my MX Master wireless mouse. This is honestly one of the most ergonomic things I have ever had. And once you have the nice thumb rest versus a traditional mouse, you're not gonna go back. And on top of just being able to have your left and right click and scroll wheel, you can also adjust the scroll wheel to either be an infinity scroll or a blocked scroll. And it has about 3 buttons on the left side and a horizontal scroll wheel. Again, very ergonomic. I highly recommend you guys pick up this mouse. Now the monitor I have does come equipped with 2 speakers on the left and right side. However, I really felt the need to upgrade for some higher quality sound. I picked up a set of Pebble Creative speakers. These are actually linked together with a wire, and using a knob on the right speaker, I can adjust the volume. However, I normally just keep the volume maxed out and I adjust the volume only on the computer. Very rich, nice bass sound, and at this price point, I was very impressed at what I got my hands on. Now, on the left side of my right speaker, I am keeping a wireless charging mat. Honestly, it is so convenient to be able to just drop your iPhone or your AirPod Pros on there, or any tech device you guys have, and just have it charge seamlessly versus having to try to find a wire, plug the wire in, the wire falls behind your desk, it's a mess. Just get yourselves a wireless charging mat. And as I just mentioned, guys, my AirPod Pros are my primary earbuds. I'll use them for about business meetings when I really need to focus. I want to block out any outside noise with their noise cancellation feature. They're also my primary earbud for the gym, traveling, and just about everywhere else. Now, the main eye-catching feature on this desk, however, is the 32-inch Spectre monitor. This was originally meant for gaming, but I don't play video games anymore, and it still works amazing for just getting my productivity done and being able to multitask with having 2 tabs simultaneously open and plenty of room for me to read both of them and switch back and forth. One thing you guys will notice about my home screen is that I have no icons on it at all. I personally feel like that makes the screen look very cluttered, and it's easy to get yourself in this hole of just putting everything on the home screen. I took everything off, and I personally just love being able to search for something with the home button very easily. I only use a handful of apps, so it's not a big deal for me to find anything in the first place. Now, speaking of my computer, it sits behind the lower middle leg of my desk. This thing is an absolute monster, and I have an entire video showcasing how I put it together, what parts I used, how I built it, and additionally, the case itself was a custom build that I put together using wood, paint, shards of acrylic, all that stuff. Definitely check out that video if you guys are interested. For $740, this thing is an absolute monster. It'll kill any game I throw in it on max settings, handle heavy workloads on Premiere Pro, Illustrator, Photoshop, and just gets me anything I need done with no lag, no glitches, no freezing whatsoever. And right above that is my work laptop, which is a MacBook Air. I thought really hard about putting this on my Jarlink vertical laptop holder because it does have a very clean, flush look to it. There just wasn't any space to put it on top of the desk without the desk getting cluttered, so I stuck with keeping it on top of my computer. Here I can easily just keep it plugged into an HDMI and a power cable, and that way I can just always use my tech and my gear on top of my desk, not have to worry about turning that computer on or off or pulling that out and plugging things in. It just sits and it's set. I do have one more computer though, my Dell XPS 15. I'm not using it that much these days because I'm either at the work office or a coffee shop doing stuff for my job, or I'm at home doing YouTube videos, which I want the processing power of my actual computer. So for the most part, for the past few weeks, it's just been sitting on my IKEA stand on a laptop holder with the power cable right behind it. I do want to point out one big thing though. I keep a privacy screen on my laptop and on my phone. It's bad enough that we have no privacy online these days, but I want at least the most I can have in person. If somebody is sitting behind me or next to me on a bus, at the library, at a coffee shop, or just walking by, I don't want them to be able to see what I'm doing on my computer out of privacy concerns. So having these privacy screens on there helps a ton. And last, as I mentioned before, I have my 3 plants on my desk and my money plant on top of that IKEA shelf. Unfortunately, Amazon does not sell plants. They do sell succulents, but just not alive plants these days. But I will have those pots I use linked below in the description. And that's it, guys. That is my 2021 minimalist dream desk setup, whatever I've just named in the title. I had a ton of fun putting this thing together, and let me know what you guys think of the desk, of the parts, the accessories of the video, all that stuff in the comments section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video if you guys enjoyed and consider subscribing. And again, if you guys have any suggestions for future upcoming videos, drop them in the comments section below as well. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week for the next video.